What's up, everybody? Welcome to CrossFire, the conversational review show presented by 4 Next Level Gamers. I'm your host, Cutter28. Joining alongside me is Black Knight 6222. Today we're talking about a franchise fan favorite, I think, for us personally. Yep. Today we're talking about Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes by Konami. So we're back to Metal Gear Solid 5. Ground Zeroes is not the full version.
Right.
It's been a long time since I played Metal Gear Solid 4.
Right.
So for us, this has been a few years since we played a Metal Gear game.
Yeah, quite a few years for me.
What's it feel like now to kind of get back from Metal Gear 4 into something what they've essentially said that they are changing the format of this title?
I love it. I love this game. I love the way it handled. The graphics are phenomenal. They look
stunning. It's so
sharp.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. I love the controls. They seem to flow well for me. I mean, it took a little bit to get into it. But you know, the way this game rolls along, it helps you sort of flow into it. I find it helps. I love the way the controls are designed, the way the flow goes, control to control button, zooming in and out, even taking your maps, bringing up your maps and zooming along in and out of the maps. It's well done, feels smooth.
Yeah, the iDroid for the maps, right? That new little kind of gizmo he's got in his hand and pulls up the overall view of the camp.
Yep.
Because everything takes place on this base.
Right.
It's a prison camp. You're there basically to take 2 prisoners and rescue them and get back to your helicopter and split. That's the essential. Everybody knows this. This is no secret to anybody, right? That's the whole premise behind this. It's an introduction of where Konami is going to take Metal Gear Solid. And by the time I ended this 2-hour campaign, I was more confused as to what the heck was going on. Everything ends in this beautiful blockbuster cinematic, which Konami, they are known for doing this sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Kojima's got a vision, and he, I think, contributes and does his vision beautifully, and he does it very well. But the story's so convoluted within the world of Metal Gear Solid that I was so lost and confused. I didn't know what to think next.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Once you finish the game, you let the credits roll, right? And you watch everybody's name pop up, and then there's always a little bit of dialogue comes up at the end.
Yep.
Right? So make sure you stick around to listen for that.
Go right through to the end, and that's when the other side missions will all come up again.
Yes.
Which are also on the base, same base, but just daytime now. That type of thing, you know.
Different formats, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few things you can do. You select which missions you want to go in. You can go in hot doing certain things, or you kind of go in and take the stealthier approach, which I kind of like. But again, for me, Metal Gear Solid is all about the stealth.
Yeah, it's in the beginning when I played, it was all about the stealth, and it still is about the stealth. But you have those options. You have the options of how you want to go in. Like you say, you want to go in hot, you want to go in stealthy, do you want to do a bit of both? And I did it all. I had to just keep replaying the mission and replaying the mission differently each time, and love the results that I got from it.
Well, here's my issue. When I play stealth games, I've played the Splinter Cells, I've played all of the Metal Gears, I am a stealth fanatic. These are my genres, this is what I prefer to play. I'm the one that hides in the shadows. We'll watch for 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes.
Yes.
The patrollers are going by, right?
Just get it all down packed, just where they are,
Well, then I start to go in and make my move, and all of a sudden the guy goes elsewhere. I'm like, hey, that's not, I've been sitting here waiting for you. And then all of a sudden he just takes off elsewhere. Fantastic addition.
Yes,
right?
Yes, I do like that. The element of surprise.
Yeah, you think you've got it figured out, and then it's completely flipped around on you because you went this way. I mean, knowing he was going to come that way, and he just sped off and went somewhere else.
Yeah.
But again, for the shadowy aspect of the stealth, once you blow it, you are done. There's no going back to that. You have to go guns hot. And for me, typically in a stealth game, pause the game, restart my checkpoint, so I can go back in and finish it the stealthy way. That's the way I like to do games. This kind of lends more to that realistic feel of, okay, well, I just screwed up.
Yeah, and it only takes one, right? Like you said, one mistake, and
then he's radioing to the rest of his buddies, right? And the next thing you know, you're scurrying, and I've got 40 guys coming on me, and I'm just shooting them all. So you go from stealth to all of a sudden now you're doing a third-person action adventure game.
Right. Right. Which again, if you want to go that way, you can. If not, pause. Checkpoint, start again.
But I couldn't even find the pause and checkpoint stuff to redo that. It was
really?
You're just left to figure it out and bust through everything. Which for me is not the way I play Metal Gear.
Right.
So they have flipped a lot of the things here. They're trying to go for that more of a Western, that more action kind of aspect of the game versus what they're known for in the past, which is doing the stealth stuff.
Right.
So I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, I can see that. I didn't have a problem with it. I really didn't. I went at it from so many different aspects that I really felt my way through the game and how to play each mission. So.
Yeah, sure. So this year they've introduced Kiefer Sutherland as the voice of Snake. Kind of hit and miss. I'm on the fence about this. Sometimes I don't even realize it's him, and then other times I know David Hayter is supposed to be the voice. So I'm it takes me out, and then I'm drawn back in, and then I'm back out, and it's just, as a longtime fan of Metal Gear, it's hard to lose that connection that I've had with David Hayter as the voice of Snake for so many years.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that, and for me, again, it's not as important. Yeah. I'm all about the play and not so much about the voice, but I know what you mean, because I miss that. I miss that too.
It's that grittiness, right? Now,
yes.
Kiefer's got a bit of grit in his voice and stuff too, but there's just some way David Hayter has played it up so well that I'm drawn in. That's Snake. That's where I hold that possession of who Snake is.
Yeah.
And Kiefer comes in, and the guy does an excellent job. His voice acting is very well done.
Yes.
But again, when you're used to someone being in that voice for so long, it's kind of hard to take that and just hand it off to somebody else. Right?
I guess it had to be done.
Well, apparently so. Yeah, they wanted to go with what they said was a younger voice for this one. So we'll see how this plays out later on. Now I want to get back to the story. Now, like I said, this is a short version of what we're going to be dealing with.
Right.
And what I found is when you play a Metal Gear game, the very first one you play, you dive into the water, you're underwater, you go into this kind of a fortress of some sort, you pop up, you sneak around guys, and you pop up the elevator, and as you pop up, the music kicks in. So you've already played a good chunk of the game before the intro comes, right?
Yeah.
You get into Metal Gear Solid 3, you're in the jungle there for I don't know how long.
Right.
Then you climb this elevator shaft, and you're climbing this ladder for hours, it feels like. Then the theme song kicks in, and then that's the intro. To me, Ground Zeroes felt like that's where this part should have been within the final version of the game.
Right.
This should have been the intro, and then as you get who you need to get and do your thing and it finishes off, then it goes into the whole, here's Metal Gear, and it comes across the screen and this, that.
Right.
I have mixed feelings about how they've done this take on Metal Gear. You've given me a chunk for $35.
Right.
And then when the full game comes out, you want another $60?
Right. Right.
If you would have said, here's $20, okay.
Right.
Right, but for $35 for disc-based or $30 for download, it's nice to see the difference between the download and the disc. I'll give them that, right? Because I appreciate that. But again, it's just a small portion, and once I was done, as confused as I was, I still wanted to keep going to find out where's the rest of it, because it sets up for the next part of what we're going to experience in the final product of the game.
Right.
But for me, honestly, this wasn't necessary. I did not need to play this until the game was fully released. But I'm still going to go back to play it because I now have it, and I'll go back to do all those side missions.
The side missions,
right?
Yeah.
So there's still tons of content.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, and there's so many approaches to how you play those side missions, as well as the main mission.
Yeah, they've opened it up, right? In Metal Gear Solid 4, we're getting a sense of I can go maybe down this back alley, or I can head over here, but it wasn't a full-blown how they've done here on this huge base.
Yeah, and
it's
giving you free reign. Yeah.
Yeah, right. We can go wherever we feel like now.
Yep.
Take the different approaches.
Yep.
So I've liked how they've kind of introduced more of a sandbox feel.
Right.
So we can now get into the sandbox feel of how Metal Gear is going to open up. And they're going to open up this much more with Phantom Pain.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
You know, and just some of the new technology that they brought to this game, I love it. I really enjoy it. You know, you start zooming in with your binoculars on guards or tanks or whatever, APGs or whatever, and once you've spotted them, you will always have them on your map. You'll always get to see them. You always know where they're going. You can follow them, hide, follow, watch, like you say, and just spend minutes just watching how they go.
Yeah, they're patrol routes and stuff, right? But then eventually, when you kind of go up that way, sometimes they'll stay in that patrol, but other ways they'll take off. But that new introduction of that tech that's coming into the game is a nice feel of an upgraded version of Metal Gear.
Yeah, yeah, and all your options with your weapons and things like that, again, you have different options, flashlights, suppressors, scopes, all of that. So
the map now can be turned into a 3D perspective, which is kind of cool. Right before it's just a flat plane. Yeah. And we said it's a giant base, but everything from the side missions to the story itself is taking place on this.
On that base.
And what I would have liked to have seen is there's buildings that are plunked along the map. Right. You can't get in them.
Right. Yeah, I do agree, because you do a lot of running door to door, looking for things and stuff like that, and there's a lot of them that you can't get into. So
especially in the daylight. If I want to get out of sight, I've got to duck behind the building. But if I could have been in the building, or what if I take out the guy? I need somewhere to hide this guy before we get spotted, because I don't know how many times I got nailed for leaving the body or
leaving him behind.
I thought he was hidden. Yeah. Apparently he wasn't hidden so much. So toss him inside that empty building, or put a couple shelves in there. I don't know.
Sure, right here. Even a dumpster or something like that.
Something, right? Yeah. Just so let me into that building. It's not very big. Yeah. But I would have been nice to get inside.
So hopefully we'll see that in the full version.
Yeah.
Maybe some more of that.
That'd be cool to see. Definitely would be a nice addition.
Yeah.
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 Well, I think that's going to wrap up this episode. What are you going to give Ground Zeroes Metal Gear Solid 5?
I am such a Snake fan. I love the game. I love the new things that are in there. I'm going with a 9.5.
That's much higher than where I'm sitting. I had a lot of missed things happening. I got a little frustrated. Again, getting back to that story, I got completely lost. Right. For me, I'm sitting at a 7 with this one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a little lower. I know.
That's all right.
I was disappointed. I'm a huge Metal Gear fan too, right? So we'll see if they can pick it up with Phantom Pain.
Let's hope so.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. You can look for us on Twitter at ForNextLevelGamers. You can head over to our website for everything video game related at ForNextLevelGamers.com. Don't forget about our Facebook page. And as always, you can find me at all your consoles at Cutter28.
And you can find me, Black Knight 6222.
Until next time, we'll catch you the next level. We're out.